All right, good evening, everybody. Meteorologist Seth Bohnhoff here with a severe weather update. We have got ourselves a tornado warning here in the area, so we're going to take coverage here on CBS for just a little while, for as long as this is out there. So this is down in Shelby County right now. We've got the main core of our storm down there right around Clarksburg, soon to head into kind of the Cowden area out there towards Mode as well. Again, this tornado warning just dropped here within just a few minutes ago. Let's go ahead and put our velocity on here, and we'll take a look at things and analyze where exactly stuff is at right now. So if you can see right here in this general area, that's where we're seeing that rotation right now. Again, soon to enter the Clarksburg area out there near Fancher as well. So tornado warning has been issued. That means you need to get to the lowest level of your home if possible. If you don't have a basement, that's where you want to be. But if you don't have a basement, you want to get to the most interior portion of the lowest floor in your house. Again, this tornado warning is issued for parts of southeastern Shelby County here for the next several minutes, and it looks like this one will be in effect here until about 5:15 here in central Illinois. So we're tracking that storm right now. That is not the only storm in the area, but obviously it is going to have our attention here for a little while. This storm is moving. Let's check the speeds on it. This one is moving very slowly, 25 miles an hour. So we're not only dealing with the tornado threat here with this, we're also dealing with some very heavy rain in it as well. But obviously the tornado threat is going to take our attention. So what I'll do for you here real quick, I will grab one of my tools and we are going to put it at 25 miles an hour. That way we can track this thing out and you folks can see some other places here that are in the path of this tornado warned storm. We'll set it in motion here, kind of see what direction it's exactly heading, and it kind of does have a nice little southeast motion to it. So that's exactly what we'll do. We'll play this one out, and we're going to see over the next 30 minutes the following locations need to take shelter here right now as a tornado warning is in place, and we are going to see some activity pick up here. So out there towards Mode, it looks to be in the area there at around 5:20. Again, very slow moving storm. These times are well in advance. Some of the bottom cities there, Stewartson, for example, 5:33. That is about 29 minutes from now. So you have a good amount of time, but you don't want to mess around anytime you are in a tornado warning polygon. You want to make sure that you are taking the steps right here at this moment in time. It's a warning for a reason. You don't have a lot of time. Don't want to panic, of course. Just want to get to that spot as soon as you can. So we are keeping track of that here right now. And we're going to just take a broad look at the area real quick just to show everybody what's going on here right now. And we'll notice that there's not a whole lot of activity here all across central Illinois, but we're starting to see some of these storms pop up here into the area, and that's eventually going to lead to potentially more problems like this. That's the main storm right now. We do have just kind of some spotty storms up and down the area. Do have some north of I-74 as well. Those not posing quite the same risk just because they are not in quite the same environment here right now. So that is the main storm that we are watching. Again, down there in southern Shelby County, this one just outside of just north of Cowden, it looks like, soon to enter the Fancher area. So again, can't stress enough, make sure that you are in the lowest level of your house possible. Basement if you have it, storm shelter if you have it, of course, as well. But you want to be into the lowest interior portion of your house if there is able to be a spot there as well. And of course, we have Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighty and Meteorologist Jacob Dickey out there in the StormTracker. They are actually out there towards Shelby County, I believe. Guys, what are you seeing? Tell the folks where you're at and what's happening out there.
Okay, yeah, we are on this storm. We are in the tornado-warned polygon here. We are just west of Stewartson. The view right in front of us is essentially that storm that we're looking at that has the rotation. So we're looking westward. You probably just saw a little lightning strike there. Just to the north of Cowden is where the rotation is on this. We are traveling west of Stewartson right now and heading towards Mode, as you mentioned there. This storm, a little bit of a slight southeasterly jog. It has torrential downpours in there, and you can see the lightning as well. Quite a few lightning strikes. Now we're looking on the kind of the back edge of the storm here to find that little slot where there is some of the rotation that is occurring on the storm. So again, those folks there that are between Cowden and Stewartson and Mode, you need to be in your tornado safe spot. We're approaching this storm here. We're traveling straight west here, pretty much looking right into it where some of the rotation is going to be. So the right side of your screen is going to be all the heavy rain and precipitation where you're going to have maybe really heavy rainfall, maybe some hail in there. We've not had a lot of reports of that, but the rotating part of this storm is kind of on the south side of it, and we're looking straight into that right now. This storm is moving fairly slow, only about 25 miles an hour, but we are going to be in a perfect position here to track this as it is coming again between the Cowden and Stewardson area at this time, and we're getting a nice view. So both meteorologists, Jacob, Dickey, and myself, Jacob driving here, and so we're looking at it there on the camera. As you can see, some of the rotation of that storm, we're looking right into it there, and so we're going to have a pretty good little view maybe after we get through this tree line here, but this storm is right in front of us, and we're going to have that view of the storm as it comes in our direction. So again, it is definitely a serious situation here. We're seeing a pretty good little uptick in the rotation on it here in the last 10 and pop that warning here for Shelby County as
All right, thanks, Jacob, and thank you very much, Kevin. Obviously, signal's going to be just a little loose out there with all the trees around there and kind of the rural areas, so we'll keep our ears on them, and we'll definitely check back in with them as they continue to see more. We'll kind of have their shot over here in the distance, and if it's possible, production, can you guys get their shot over there on the squad wall so that way I can kind of keep an eye on them at all times, if that is all possible. So right now, we are watching, again, that tornado-warned storm. You saw Jacob and Kevin kind of pinpoint where they're at right now. Here's the center of rotation right there near Clarksburg. If you're in the Fancher area, again, now is the time to take action. You need to get to the lowest level of your home, the most interior room in your home, and take shelter and ride this one out. This isn't one of your typical kind of cellular storms that move on through pretty quickly around maybe 40 or 50 miles an hour. This one is just going to slowly drag its feet through the area, so you might have to stay in your shelter for a little longer than you're used to. Just stay in there until we give you the all clear, and things should be all right for you down that direction. One thing I want to point out here as well, we're watching this rotation right here. Keep that exact location in mind as we switch over to our reflectivity product. Notice there's some pretty heavy rain right over that spot. Now that might be just a little bit of lag in velocity updating, but it looks like things might be covered in some rain. Probably not going to have an absolutely clear shot at that storm, so we'll continue to monitor Jacob and Kevin's shot there, see if they can get any clear shot with that rain trying to kind of part through a little bit. But again, not your classic cellular storm. This one's pretty messy in nature. We've had a dominant rotation kind of take hold there in that storm, and that is what prompted the tornado warning. Again, very slow-moving storm at 25 miles an hour is that storm motion as it tracks to the south and east. So you want to make sure that you are prepared and safe here if you are in this tornado-warned storm. I want to reiterate to anybody who might just be joining us right now, this is the only warning that we're paying attention to here at the moment. We've only got things here just down there in Shelby County. All right, we want to check in with
Seth,
Jacob and Kevin again.
Seth.
Guys, let's see what's happening out there. What you got?
Yep. All right, so we're right on the storm here. We can see the view right there. Looks like a little bit of a funnel that is trying to form. There's a lot of lightning on this storm right here. So Jacob is adjusting the camera here. And so this storm that we are on, essentially the rotating part of this is right between Cowden and Stewardson. We're halfway between both, and you're looking right into it. And you can see the view there that we're getting from our camera. This is a very intense storm. You can see there, we're looking at that little lowering that is occurring right in front of us here. The storm is just to our west, and you can kind of see it. This is what we're concerned about for a tornado. A lot of lightning here in this as well. The lightning strikes are constant with this. We're getting some of this rising motion that we're seeing, but the storm here, look how intense this is. We just show you the wide view here. This on the right side, your heavy rainfall, maybe a little bit of hail in there. You can almost see a little bit of a greenish tint to the sky, but we're looking right here at where there would be a potential tornado on this. Again, we are straight west of Stewardson and going to be northeast of Cowden. This storm is drifting to the south and east Stewardson. Be in your tornado safe spot here, as this thing is literally moving. I mean, it's moving right at us here, to be honest with you, and you can just see how constant the lightning strikes are. Jacob, what are you thinking about what we're seeing right now?
Yeah, kind of looking at radar here, Kevin. It's kind of wrapped up in here. We're in the spot where the rotation's going to be just in front of us and to the right of the road. So we keep scanning the sky and seeing. At one point, we did have a funnel cloud in front of us, and we may end up having something new trying to come. This spot sticks out to me right in here. In fact, if you can see here, let me adjust that camera. I think, Kevin, in front of us there, to the left of the road, about 11 o'clock, If I zoom in, I think that's going to be the funnel cloud that we were looking at earlier here, kind of in that edge of the storm. So we'll be keeping a close eye on this here. Again, this is about going to be just northeast of Cowden. It's going to be in the Clarksburg area, Lakewood. It's past you now. It's past Tower Hill. This is south of Shelbyville. But that, to me, is the area that stands out the most, Kevin. But I don't want to discount any of this area here. So folks that are in the area, if you're in Mode, if you're in Fancher, if you're in Clarksburg, downstream then Stewartson, perhaps this may carry it a little south and east. Sometimes as these storms strengthen with rotation, they'll take a more southeast jog. That would mean southern Cumberland and eventually downstream parts of Effingham County would be in the path of this one here. Now, as we're looking there, we've got to watch the whole area of the storm here, Kevin. On the right side, look at that dark core that's in there. There's some very heavy rain as well, and that circulation is kind of wrapped up in there from what we can see here. So, Kevin, you're kind of getting a view out the side there, seeing anything on to the north of where our location?
Yeah, so, boy, just constant lightning, a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning, which is indicator of a very strong storm, but definitely there is some rising motion that's over here to our right that we're seeing here, and we just got to keep an eye on this thing here because we're going to have to probably retreat here in just a little bit to get back east of this thing because it is rolling right here in our general direction. And you're looking at the view here. This is, again, between the Stewartson and Cowden areas where we're located. We are looking right into this. I mean, we're right on the view of this thing and starting to get some of this rising motion right up here to our right. Seeing some of this right here, right about through here. So definitely a serious situation right now for the folks that are down here into Shelby County. This, again, will continue to move to the south and east. And if there is something in there, it would be difficult to see potentially because of the fact that this could be rain wrapped here. So just kind of keep that in mind. And we're going to have to keep that in mind ourselves here as we're kind of looking into the storm.
And maybe Seth can help evaluate as well, Kevin. I want to look towards Oconee, off to the west, south of Pana. There's another little storm in the back side there. That one's a little further back, but we'll just have to keep an eye on all of these storms here, Kevin.
Yeah, definitely. All right, I think we're going to try to reposition here because we're getting kind of close with this here. I'm going to let Seth take over there for a second, and we will get back to you here in just a moment. So, Seth, we'll send it back to you for now.
Okay, thank you guys very much. Obviously getting some of the incredible shots there right there on the ground. That is our best indicator of what is actually happening there. The radar helps us a bunch, but to actually see that down there is definitely critical. One thing I want to pass along, National Weather Service has let this warning expire for the time being. I'm going to give it a few minutes here to see what the next decision is. I did see that they noted they weren't anticipating a downstream warning into Effingham County yet. We'll see if things kind of change here. They noted just a slight downtick in the rotation. Obviously, we have a shot out there, and Jacob and Kevin will be able to keep an eye on how that evolves in time as well. So technically, we are warning free here, tornado warning free for just the moment. We're going to stay here for just a few more minutes here and see how this one kind of plays out here in the next several minutes, because that is going to be what keeps us on here, or what lets us kind of let things go here for just a short period of time. Of course, we've got our 5:30 newscast coming up, so if anything, we'll get there very quickly. Want to note where exactly Kevin and Jacob are here right now. Of course, they're on the move, as they mentioned. Here's Cowden, here's Stewartson. They're just kind of right there. I believe it was County Highway 6 is what I saw on the map there. So they're right here. That storm, the main core of it, getting very close to them. So they're going to reposition to make sure that they are out of the path of that storm and that they can continue to get ahead of it and make sure that they can see the absolute best view that they possibly can. Wanted to mention something that Jacob brought up as well. He mentioned the fact that there could be maybe just a little extra rotation starting to form on the back side of the storm. It kind of came down just a little bit in this last scan here, but notice just kind of north of Herrick, there's some broad greens and reds kind of touching each other there. Doesn't look like anything too high end just yet, but we're going to keep an eye on that, because obviously anywhere in the storm is going to bring us the potential for some tornadic activity. But this is our main source of rotation right now. Again, tornado warning has been lifted. This is still within a severe thunderstorm warning that does have a tornado possible tag on it, but the National Weather Service just a little bit ago noted that the rotation has come down just a little bit. We can even see that evidence here to a small degree. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to the product here that lets us roll this back here in slow enough motion to where we can actually see things going on. So you can see maybe the red color, the pinkish color has toned down just a little bit. There's still obvious rotation. And of course, Jacob and Kevin have their eyes there on the ground, can still see stuff going on. So we're going to pay attention to that and see how things change here with time. Just going to quickly scroll through some of the stuff that the National Weather Service chat is relaying to us just to make sure that they are kind of letting us pick their brain a little bit as to where exactly they're thinking here with the warning continuation. They will keep the severe thunderstorm warning in effect now until 5:45. I believe the original warning was for 5:30. That is now until 5:45. So we are staying at that standard severe thunderstorm warning here for the moment. And again, still that tornado possible tag. You can see that rotation continuing to move on in. This may end up being a problem for some folks in the northern Effingham County area, even if it's not tornado warned. It could continue to be a storm that will have that potential to it. I'm going to freeze our velocity here real quick. So just kind of looking down the line, potentially out there closer to Shumway, northern Effingham County, out there towards Sigel as well. And if things play out a certain way, maybe the north end of Effingham just needs to pay attention to things. This is a very slow moving storm, 25-mile-an-hour storm motion, so it's going to take a little while before it actually gets there. As you saw that cone we drew earlier, 30 minutes from now, it still might not even be out of Shelby County. So this is a very slow moving storm, and there's plenty of time for those in Effingham County to get ready, but just keep an eye on this, and we'll continue to inform you as things are continuing to progress there. So again, I know there's no tornado warnings right now. I'm just reading something fresh from the National Weather Service that I'll relay to everyone. They allowed the tornado warning to expire since the rotation broadened. They did update the severe thunderstorm warning to increase the hail size to 1-inch hail. That's quarter-size hail. So we're going to continue to monitor this storm as it kind of travels here over the next about 10 minutes or so. Again, this is kind of a weird time. We've got our 5:30 newscast coming up here in just about 10 minutes. And I acknowledge that there's not a tornado warning here right now, but I've just got a feeling that we need to keep an eye on this for at least a couple more minutes. It may kind of mesh here into our 5:30 newscast. So for those wanting to see the CBS Evening News, kind of a little awkward period here. We really want to keep an eye on the storm. And of course, our newscast coming up here in just a short little bit. What I'll probably do is let this go through another scan. If things continue to pulse down, we'll let you rejoin programming there for the final 10 minutes before we hop over into our newscast. But just want to make sure folks have a heads up on this and that they're staying on top of things, so that way they can still see what they tuned in to see there on CBS, but obviously keep the folks in the path of this ready to go. So I believe we just got a new scan here not that long ago, and perhaps it brought things down just a little bit. I'll see if I can track things back here just a touch, and it looks like there maybe was a little change, but we're still keeping things pretty broad here at the moment. So continuing to watch Jacob and Kevin's shot. If all possible, I'm not sure if they're ready to chat here just yet, but I just want to check in on them, kind of where they're heading, get an idea of what exactly their plan is. So are they able to talk to us, guys? Do you have any idea if we have their signal here still? Okay, I'm going to, if they're able to, Kevin and Jacob, I just want to know where you guys are right now. What's your, what direction are you heading, and what's the plan here?
Gotcha. Yep. Well, so we had to retreat a little bit back off to the east now. So now we're going to be heading towards Stewardson here. The storm is behind us, so that's what you're looking at. You're looking at the camera here from behind, and we're looking at that storm. So what we're going to do here is we're going to turn off here, and they're going to see it the front side of this here in just a moment. As we kind of navigate things a little bit here. So just bear with us as we're going to look back into the storm here, and you're going to see the view. This is what we're seeing. See this little lowering here off to the left, okay? That is where there's that rotation on the storm, okay? There's definitely still something there, and so this is going to be, again, west of Stewardson. That's exactly what our location is here right now, and you're looking right into that storm. You can see the intense lightning strikes. So we are essentially just west of 32, okay, just west of 32 right now in the Stewardson area, looking right into the storm. The lowering that is showing up there that we've been watching this whole time, really heavy rainfall. Quite the structure to this as well that we've been watching. But boy, this thing is just dumping the rain, and that's what you're looking at with this kind of darker area that you see here. We are seeing, still some of this rising motion that is here kind of in the center part of your screen. And so that's the view that we are getting right now. Jacob, that thing there, boy, dark skies, heavy rainfall, and again, the rotating part of that storm is directly right in front of us, essentially.
Yeah, that's right here. It does look a little more broad, but there's still a lot of wind that's wrapping around to the backside, and so I don't think the threat's over here, even though there's not a tornado.
I think it's cycling a little
bit.
It
is, Kevin. Where that area of circulation is going to be is right back in there. So if you look here, this now looking down that road, that's straight to the west, and then this rain area right here is almost surging a little bit to the right, and our area of rotation is actually going to be tucked in the back there. Is where that's at. So just for a purpose, we're about 2 miles to the west of Strasburg, and so then you're able to see here the effect of that surge is this low little cloud that's in here, and a lot of turbulence with this, a lot of motion with those clouds, Kevin, isn't there?
There really is a lot of motion here showing up on this, so we're going to have to probably continue to head back east here to Stewartson to 32 there. But that storm, the storm that you're looking at here is the one of concern. I know that they dropped the tornado warning on this, but this thing is still moving pretty good. A lot of motion still showing up here with this, and so we're going to try to get just back about ahead of it. Yeah, so we're going to get back ahead of it here, get up to Stewartson there, and probably drop just a little bit to the south. So now you're going to look at the view from behind now on our back camera as the storm is moving in. So if you are near Stewartson, I'll just give you a heads up to Sigel, kind of down the line there. If this thing would kind of turn a little bit more to the south and east, like I said, it's still a healthy storm. There's some good structure on it. We're going to be coming up to 32 to Stewartson here in just a moment, and still watching this. Again, if there is that tornado in there, it would be, really kind of hidden, or at least the rotation hidden within the rain. This is what you call a big HP supercell, high precipitation supercell here, that is just dumping heavy rainfall, and because of the slow movement of it, it can cause some of the flooding there in some of the areas as well.
Yeah, some of the rainfall rates have been estimated by the National Weather Service to be 3 to 5 inches of rain an hour. So if that storm and that intensity stays in one spot, you end up with 3 to 5 inches. It's been moving a little south and east slowly, so we're adding up quickly to that, but it's these types of tropical air masses that give us those heavy rain producers. And so that's something, Kevin, where we have to watch the flooding threat as well, and that starts to ramp up now, and if these storms stay over the same area for a given period of time, you can really add those rain totals up quickly.
Yeah, so really coming down here again, we're just coming up to 32 here, just north of Stewartson, essentially. Still looking at the storm. I know the view that you're getting is from our back camera here, but this thing is still showing some motion with it. Definitely the lowerings that are still kind of occurring along this whole line. Still some broad rotation is showing up there on radar with this. So what we'll do here is Seth, as well, me and Jacob kind of navigate here and to decide kind of what we're going to do here. We'll let you kind of show the radar view of this and exactly where it's going. I know we're coming up to the newscast that begins here at 5:30. We want to stay with this. We're just going to go ahead and stay with this all the way to the newscast there, Seth, since we're on this storm here, and it is looking pretty intense. So if you're down there towards Neoga and Sigel, be paying attention as this severe thunderstorm warning is heading in your direction. We'll see what they do here into Cumberland County before too long with an additional potential warning here. So now we are on 32. And now we're heading back south here. So that's what we're looking at right now. We're going to reposition. We'll have another shot here in just a little bit. Seth, we'll send it back to you for right now.
Okay, sounds good, guys, and thanks again for the nice close-to-the-ground views there. Want to definitely keep track of this storm and see how things evolve here with time. So we're going to switch things back over here to our radar. They talked about they're heading south on 32 right now, just there through Stewartson. That's the direction they're heading. Obviously, the core of that storm just barely off to their west. I do have our stream online up here in the corner as well. I'm just getting a few things popping up in the chat, and I want to bring mention of this. It's been brought to my attention that the Sigel Church picnic may be ongoing right now. I do believe they would have been part of that original warning. Just want to make sure if you know anybody that might be out there right now doing that, make sure they find a way to get some shelter here pretty soon, just because if that storm continues on the trajectory that it's on, things might get a little dicey out that direction. So again, if that picnic is happening and you know some folks out that way, give them a text, give them a call right now, let them know that they need to get inside. They need to get in a nice sturdy building there to kind of ride this storm out, because it's eventually going to get there. Even if it's not a tornado warned storm, by the time it gets there, things are going to get intense. It is going to rain a ton. So make sure you inform those folks down that direction to make sure that they are in the know on that. I'm going to bring up our velocity product again here, and we're going to notice things again maybe a little more broad than what they were before. Kind of see some distance between those darkest greens and those brightest reds. So maybe not the tight rotation that we had at one point, but things are still worth watching here, as this is eventually going to make its way outside of Shelby County, maybe getting close to that Effingham County and Cumberland County line here before too terribly long. I want to bring folks here that might just be tuning in just a little bit late, kind of refresh you on what's happening right now. We just have one main storm that we're watching. That is all across Shelby County. It is spreading over into parts of Coles County, so folks in Mattoon might be getting a little bit of that rain and just general thunderstorm activity. But folks in Champaign, Danville, Springfield, Decatur, there's nothing out there right now. Not saying that you're not going to be in any sort of threat at all here through the night. Just the way things sit right now, you are not seeing anything here in the picture. We'll have to watch how some of these other little thunderstorms progress with time. But we are focused on this one main storm that still does have that tornado possible tag in the far southeastern corner of Shelby County right now. The core of that storm heading right over Stewartson. And although we're keeping an eye on any sort of tornado risk with the storm, if you've been following here throughout the day, there's a flooding risk with these storms today as well. As mentioned, it's a 25-mile-an-hour storm motion, and look how intense that rain is. That means things are just dumping over the same spot there for a prolonged period of time. National Weather Service even mentioned the idea that there could be 3 to 5 inch per hour rainfall rates, so you could get 3 to 5 inches in just a short period of time, and that is plenty there to cause some flash flooding. So aside from the obvious risk there with any sort of rotation that may lead to some tornadoes, that is another thing that we will certainly need to pay attention to here. Mentioned also at one point there was a little bit of rotation on the back end of the storm, kind of closer there to the Herrick area. That one looks a little broad right now too, so kind of keeping our eyes on 2 different spots here. That one doesn't look quite as impressive as it did at one point. Of course, things can change in a hurry, so we'll continue to keep an eye out for that. But this is the main storm. If anything, it is going to be real windy inside that storm, even if there is no ongoing tornado right now. So we are going to continue to keep an eye out for that and see as this one continues to progress on. Again, if this thing continues on its current trajectory, northern Effingham County, Sigel, Lilyville might be some places there in the path of that storm as it continues to march there to the south and east, and we get a little bit more activity there, joining some other counties in the area as well. I see Jacob and Kevin now have kind of parked over on the side of the road. They've got another view of the storm. Guys, let us know what you're seeing, what you got up there.
Yep. We're looking here. Now we're south of Stewartson here, and we have got a great view looking into the storm once again. So the thing does seem to want to be surging a little bit, maybe trying to take a little bit of a southeasterly jog a little bit. But you can see right in front of us the very low-lying clouds there, heavy rainfall there as well. And again, there's the view kind of from behind us, but in front of us is where you're going to have that. And so we're looking for any of those little lowerings there. And there's one kind of in front of us here, not super organized, but we're looking right into the storm right now. Again, still some broad rotation there, and that's going to be coming into the Stewartson area. We're just kind of repositioning here a little bit, but you can see in front of us, boy, that's the heavy rain. On the left side is going to be the left edge of the storm that's over here, and so we're looking at it. Again, we're just south of Stewartson. We're almost to the county line, almost to the Effingham and Shelby County line here right now, and so look at the rain shafts there. You can see that in front of us. You can see the wind kind of blowing those across the screen, and so that's the heavy rain and then the wind, and you can see the sheets of rain there, and you can literally see it there blowing across those farm fields that are in front of us here right now. And so you're going to get some strong winds within this, and again, the back side of this has always kind of had that strong wind. And that's where the strongest winds have been, is kind of embedded within the heavy rainfall that is here. And so what we're looking at here is a very intense storm with an incredible amount of cloud-to-ground lightning. We've been watching that almost constant here. And this storm is still very healthy at this point, although maybe not the same structure we had a little bit earlier. In front of us, though, is just that torrential downpours of rain. And you can see there on your screen across the field there where our visibility starts to reduce as a result of just how heavy the rainfall is just in front of us. So again, we're south of Stewartson, the heaviest here just to our north, which is what you're looking into. And you can see kind of those farm fields there off in the distance where that heavy rain is coming down. We haven't heard reports really too much of some hail, but I wouldn't be surprised if you get in the main core of that you may have some of it. But right now, this storm, more than anything, is definitely bringing a lot of heavy rainfall. So we're going to have to readjust here. We're going to continue to go back to the south here on 32. And basically, we're going to be going into Effingham County here in the next few minutes or so. So we'll continue to track things here for you. Seth, I know the newscast here just kind of beginning. So what we'll do here is, I know we don't have any additional tornado warnings in effect here, so I'll let you guys kind of take over there, how you see fit on proceeding there with the newscast and whatnot. And if we get any warnings, obviously, we're going to jump back in here with you, but we're going to kind of reposition on this thing here, and we're kind of getting into the heavy rainfall now, so we're going to try to get south of this. And for now, we will throw it back to you. Really intense storm here still, guys, so be paying attention if you're down towards Sigel and northern Effingham County, and eventually southwestern Cumberland County as well. So Seth, for now, we'll send it back to you.
Okay, thank you guys very much. And of course, just let us know what you're seeing out there if you come across anything, and we'll continue to check back with you guys here every few minutes. Want to bring us back to here now. We can kind of start to see the storm entering from the Effingham area. We can see from our sky cam, definite lowering there in the distance. You can just kind of see how low some of those clouds are. So we're kind of getting an advantage point there from Effingham as well, although our best view is going to come from the StormTracker, as it is about as close to the action as you can possibly get. Want to bring us back in here to radar to see where that storm is right now. Just about to cross over into kind of the tri-county line here between Effingham County, Shelby County, and Cumberland County as well. So we're going to see that eventually make its way that direction. Still watching for any kind of rotation, but if you've seen our coverage in the past, you know that with those storms that have that tornado potential, they usually don't look like this on reflectivity. There's usually kind of a clear notch or a clearing. Doesn't mean that you can't have some sort of rotation or tornado within that storm. Just makes it a little harder to either see or a little harder for that storm to sustain itself. So we're going to just turn on our velocity picture. You can still see plenty of rotation in there. Things are just becoming a little messier, and that makes it a little harder to detect. As you saw Jacob and Kevin's shot, things have picked up as far as the rain goes, so it may be hard to really see any of the action going on right there in the core of that storm. That rotation now passing directly over Stewartson. So again, about 30 minutes ago is when we started our coverage, and well, things took about 30 minutes from when we drew that cone to actually get to Stewartson. So a very slow storm motion as things have just kind of been dragging their feet. But again, eventually entering into the Sigel area, parts of southwestern Cumberland County as well. So we'll be paying attention to that. I-57 could be in play here, as well as Highway 45 at some point, Route 45. So that is going to be something to watch too. If you know anybody that might be out there on the roads right now, whether it be 45 or 57 between Neoga and Sigel, make sure they know about this and just make sure that they are able to find some place to kind of hunker down here for just a short period of time, because that storm is going to go right over that particular section. Of course, things could be busy. Folks may be traveling here late on a Sunday, so that will certainly be something to give them heads up to as well. I want to throw on some rainfall totals here just real quickly. I'm going to start with the 1 hour rainfall totals. This might not span far enough here for us. In fact, I'm just going to put the 3 hour rainfall totals. And again, this storm didn't start 3 hours ago. It started maybe hour 25, hour 30 ago. So I'm going to drop in some radar indicated rainfall totals just to show you how much rain is being dumped here. So that little yellow spot northwest of Shelbyville, that's about 2.2 inches of rain in probably less than an hour is how long that storm was moving over there. So lots of heavy rain within these storms, as we've been seeing there from the StormTracker view. Another thing I want to throw on here is the lightning. We'll see just how much lightning here we're getting in the area. Just look how many bolts are popping up there. And we'll even just drop a little tool in there, and we'll try that one again there because I let go of the mouse just a little early. Let's draw our tool in there and just kind of see how many lightning strikes have been detected here, and we will see it is all the way up to 547. And the difference between those negative and positive strikes, those positive strikes usually indicate a very strong storm. Those are kind of your stronger lightning strikes. So anytime those positives really outnumber those negatives, that means you definitely have a storm that is packing a punch there. So plenty of that, among many other things. Of course, the lightning itself sometimes may be forgotten about when you're talking about strong winds, when you're talking about a tornado threat, but that is certainly something to contend with, especially if there's some of those outdoor events going on. Like we mentioned, maybe the Sigel Church picnic happening right now. You don't want to be caught outside in the middle of any of that, so we definitely want to play our cards very safely here and make sure that we are not running any unnecessary risks with staying outside as this moves on through. Another thing to note, it looks like perhaps another area of broad rotation kind of popping up there near Paradise. base entering into the southwestern corner of Coles County. Doesn't look like anything imminent happening there, but just kind of got to watch when those colors start to collide for any sort of interaction and evolution that might take place with time there. So keep an eye on that. If anything, maybe the wind gusts have picked up that direction as well. So we are keeping an eye on that. Do want to bring attention to any folks that may have tuned in to watch the 5:30 newscast. Obviously, we have begun some severe weather coverage here. It's just one storm, but it's got our eye a little bit here. Jacob and Kevin are out there. They can see it. We want to make sure that we're following this here for as long as it appears there is a somewhat imminent threat. And again, this rotation right over Stewartson right now continues to have our eye, and that'll be something that we are going to track and see how things change with time there as this eventually crosses over and gets close to a pretty populated area there in Effingham. We'll need to keep our eyes out for it. Looks like this will track north of there as of right now. We talked about the Sigel area, I-57, Route 45 as well. Those are places that could eventually be in the path of this thing as well. So really paying attention to how this rotation evolves with time. And just to give folks another refresher here who may be joining just a little bit late, this is right now the only major storm in the area. We do have some storm activity kind of out there across northern Cumberland County, across southern Coles County as well. That doesn't really have anything that we're too concerned about at the moment. We'll of course pay attention to that. But the main event just in one consolidated area down there in Shelby County, eventually into Effingham and Cumberland counties as well. So we'll continue to keep an eye out for how this one storm kind of moves with time. Didn't expect things to be huge and widespread today, but did know that if a storm could kind of isolate itself from the main set, that this would be the likely result when it all came down. And another thing to note too, there's probably several folks who are kind of thinking, well, why wasn't there a severe thunderstorm watch or a tornado watch issued? Oftentimes those are only issued when you expect things to be widespread. That's why you got warnings as opposed to any watches. There just wasn't a big enough setup there to really make things to kind of trigger that watch and get more folks involved in on the action. So we're going to watch this storm as long as it continues on. Now you can see things have entered on over into the northern part of Effingham County, so starting to get closer to the city itself there. I'm going to just quickly take a look at the Skycam. Again, this looks to stay a little bit off to the north for the time being. We'll kind of zoom things out there because we've got a little bit of a view. And you kind of see just some little appendages even kind of hanging off of that storm in the distance. And I think I'm matching up screens here with what Jacob and Kevin are seeing. I'm going to point to it real quick for you folks. This little thing right here, you can see some of that rising motion, just that little tail almost. And I can see that Jacob and Kevin can see it as well. They've got a little bit of a cornfield in their way, but if possible, Jacob and Kevin, you guys have got your eyes on that thing right now. What are you seeing on the very far edge of that storm?
Yeah, so we're actually looking at the storm that's actually behind that one. This is actually going to be looking towards kind of the Cowden, Beecher City area. So we actually pivoted off of the one up there that's heading into Sigel because we noticed another little slight area of rotation and a little bit of a lowering there. So this is looking at the storm that again is back towards Cowden. Okay, we're looking straight west into the storm there, and so this is the view that we're getting. Notice a little bit of that rising motion that is within this as well, and so we kind of pivoted back there on that kind of backside because sometimes you can get a little bit of a redevelopment there. So there's kind of two areas that we're watching. Obviously, the one you were talking about there, over towards Stewartson to Sigel, but this one again on the backside here between Beecher City and Cowden. So we are just west of Shumway, and looking at the storm there. That again is still you got you can see on the right side there is going to be where some of the heavier rain is going to be from the storm, but we're still looking straight into this thing near Cowden, which is also getting quite the little storm there. So we're just watching this carefully here because it just kind of had our attention there. So the storm there behind us. So that's the storm that is looking back towards Sigel and Stewartson area, and then the one obviously in front of us, we just wanted to take a quick glance at it there because they're on the right side, just a little bit of a lowering of some kind there that is trying to show up as well. So we're keeping a close eye on that, even though again, we had the storm that was definitely rotating quite a little bit earlier. That was over there again near Lakewood, north of Cowden. But it does look like the severe thunderstorm warnings are continuing. Looks like we got a new severe thunderstorm warning that they have just issued. That warning there going to be in effect for Shelby and western Effingham counties. with that severe thunderstorm again moving to the southeast at 25 miles per hour. So the storm that you're looking at here is the one here that is kind of on the back edge of this, again between Cowden and Beecher City. We're just watching that area there to see if there's anything kind of showing. If you can pan just a little bit to the right, you're going to see like a rain-free kind of base, and then the heavy rain, you almost kind of see the rain foot that's kind of coming down there on the right side of your screen. Oh, how about that double shot of lightning right in between those two little storms that we're looking at. So that's the view that we've got here in the StormTracker here right now. So they've got this new severe thunderstorm warning that stretches back to Cowden, just a sliver of Shelby County. So you're looking at it right there. And then so, yeah, from Shumway to Beecher City now within the warning. Effingham is within the warning. Again, you can see the lightning strike. Boy, just constant. This is what we mean by it. And you can see the lightning strikes right in front of us that keep kind of happening. Lots of cloud-to-ground lightning strikes. So make sure you are inside here, folks, because even if you're not dealing with, the rain or, these lightning strikes are striking far out from the storm itself. So even if it's not raining, it doesn't mean you can't get struck by lightning. Again, you can just see how constant some of those strikes are, which we're looking at right in front of us. So again, we're just kind of watching the two areas here with this storm slow moving. Boy, I-57 would be a tough drive right now between Humboldt to Sigel, because it is really coming down. So you're looking at the back side of the storm, or the storm behind us is the one towards the Sigel area right now, and Stewartson to Neoga. In front of us is the storm that is you're looking literally into southern Shelby County, right along the Shelby and Effingham County line right now. We're in pretty much the northwest corner of Effingham County between Shumway and Beecher City, looking at this little characteristic here right in front of us. Again, we're just keeping an eye on it here, folks, because there was some of that broad rotation back on the back edge of this here. So we're keeping an eye on this as well as the lightning strikes continue. You can see the rain that is falling down there from the cloud, but we're watching some of that rise in motion that's kind of coming in there on the right side of that little cloud. But boy, the lightning again is just constant with this. So be careful if you're out there. Seth, I know you've been tracking this here as well. The Weather Service again talking about the severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect. That's the only warning that we have in our area right now, if I'm correct. But we're going to continue to watch this here, and you can keep our shot up if you want. But just wanting to keep eyes on this just in case for our friends down here in Shelby and Effingham counties. Jacob, anything else you want to add here before we throw it back to Seth?
Yeah, I think that the storm that's over Sigel in front of, or behind us, I should say, right north of Effingham there still is some rotation in there. It's kind of broad. And then looking over the Lerna area, there's another little broad area. And then even southeast of Charleston, kind of looking at some of the different radars, you just get these little spots here. We got a little bit of wind shear in the atmosphere, and this is an area that had some decent instability, so worth watching here. The other thing that stands out to me is I zoom out a little bit and pan up. The interesting thing I see about this storm that's over the Cowden area heading towards Beecher City and Shumway and Moccasin, and probably much closer to Effingham than the storm that's just north of town is here. If you look, Kevin, you can kind of see the clouds in front of us are actually going back to the right. They're going back north. And so we're not in the area that's been impacted by the rain-cooled air from the storm that we were just looking at here. This storm's got a little bit more to work with. Often on the tail end, it can be a little more unimpeded for that. So be watching for Funkhauser, Dexter, Lake Sarah. Be kind of watching in those areas as well as this moves to the south and east, and eventually it could end up far past Effingham to the south and east as well. So all of these areas, to me, Kevin, need to be watched, and we'll be watching it from here, and of course that's in the studio, Kevin. So that's kind of what we're looking at that stands out to me. The other thing is the heavy rain. Of course, I know that's some torrential rain that's falling. I know that they're getting a lot of rain in a short period of time, and south of Mattoon, Charleston, the Coles County EMA said they got 5 miles southwest of Mattoon, 1.5 inches in a short period of time there. So we are watching that pretty closely. Kevin?
All right, sounds good. So we'll continue to track these storms that are down here, Seth. For now, we will send it back to you. Again, the lightning, though, is just constant with these, and you can see that right there on our shot that we've been giving you this whole time. So, Seth, for now, from the StormTracker, Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighty, Meteorologist Jacob Dickey here with you, and we're going to keep watching this stuff. We know we got a lot of followers and people that tune in to WCIA that are down here in Effingham County. So we definitely want to make sure we continue to provide that coverage to the folks down here and let them know what's going on. But boy, a lot of heavy rain with this system, and into Shelby County and Cumberland County there as well. You folks and to Coles County, we're watching this storm very carefully for you, and we'll keep you up to date here from the StormTracker. For now, Seth, we'll send it back over to you, and we'll let you know if we catch anything else.
Okay, thank you very much, guys, for continuing to keep eyes on the ground there. Just want to bring things back to our radar picture here. Here's your current reflectivity, and I was just about to mention the fact that although there's not a warning right there on that main storm, had a suspicion there was probably going to be one issued there before too long, so they've re-updated the warnings. Here's a look, again, at your reflectivity. You can kind of see this bowing shape here with the storm. That means things are starting to get pretty windy, and the fact is, if we look inside at our velocity product, there's several different things to watch right now. That feature that Kevin and Jacob were on moments ago, that's the one out here. Again, that one kind of weakened just a little bit. That's where you saw that tail there for just a short period of time. But now we're kind of shifting our focus certainly to the Sigel and Neoga areas. You can kind of see that really bright pink right there just outside of Sigel. It's a little bit of a broad rotation. I don't want to say the rotation's the most critical thing to pay attention to. It's that strong pocket of wind. Anytime you see that bright pink, that means things are getting well over 60 miles an hour. And again, we're looking just a little aloft in this storm, so those aren't surface winds, but there is a pretty strong pocket up there aloft in that storm, and that usually indicates things are pretty strong down at the surface as well. So if you are in the Sigel area, right now is the time. You got to get to shelter there, even if it's not a tornado warning. There's some pretty strong winds about to roll right through the area there. So we are watching how that plays out here. Also watching another source of wind up there across parts of northern Cumberland County into southern Coles County as well, just right outside of Trilla right now, between Trilla and Lerna. That's where another pocket of pretty strong winds has dropped into the picture as well. So we're watching features like that. We'll see how they interact within the storm. As you saw on the basic radar feature there, things are a little complicated. This is not just an easy storm where you can look right into and see the rotation or see kind of the features of it. This is just kind of a bowing segment that's just got a little bit of everything going on within it right now. So it's kind of hard to make out exactly what's happening within the actual storms itself, but that's why those radar products are very helpful. You can kind of detect the core, kind of detect those really strong winds, and you are able to see things as they maybe can't be seen as easily on the ground. So paying attention to those cores of very strong winds as we're starting to enter into new territory here for most of the coverage. It's been in Shelby County. Now we're starting to take over there into parts of Cumberland County, down there into Effingham County as well, eventually into Jasper County too, as we watch and see how things kind of evolve with time there, just to see how this system moves. There is quite a bit of instability down this direction. That's why those storms are popping up exactly where they are right now. So there's not going to be a whole lot to kind of suffocate these storms and prevent them from continuing to just grow a little bit, or at the very least maintain themselves as they continue to march on. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pop on the Effingham camera here, and we'll see some features as this starts to roll on in. And there's not a whole lot of detail on it because the main stuff is actually above our camera right now. We're starting to see that shelf cloud kind of get ready to pass on over the top, and the rain will be soon to follow. Also notice there on the far left side of the screen, I'll pan the camera and just we'll take a zoom at it. That's the feature we were seeing on the far west side of the storm. That's what Jacob and Kevin there were seeing for just a period of time. Just a little bit of a lowering. They have the eyes on it. Again, it didn't look like anything incredible, but when it's that close to the ground, when you continue to have rising motion, it's worth paying attention to. Again, that is over closer to the Cowden area and out there towards Beecher City as well. That is not the main storm that we've been following since the beginning, but another feature that has since popped on within the last half hour or so. And it looks like we have an additional severe thunderstorm warning. This one includes at least Coles County. I'm going to get my radar picture back up here, and we can kind of take a look at how things are starting to change here. And we'll see that next warning now for parts of not only Coles County, but into Cumberland County, and eventually out there into Clark County as well. So a place like Casey needs to be on alert right now. You need to get to your shelter as well. This is a severe thunderstorm warning, but notice kind of the orangish tint around that box. That means a tornado possible tag has been added to it. So what we'll do, we'll jump inside and we'll see the velocity features here on that storm. And you can see right north of Casey, just north of I-70 right there, this is that rotation that we are going to pay attention to. It looks a little broad right now, but it's kind of consolidated into one spot. I shouldn't say it's broad. It's kind of tight together, but it's not very intense just yet. So we'll be watching that particular feature as that works its way across I-70, eventually into Clark County. A severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag on it. That here just within the last 60 seconds. So several different features to watch now, not just one main storm, but one complex featuring all sorts of stuff happening within them, whether it be strong winds, whether it be rotation, or just downright heavy rain and some pretty frequent lightning as well. So watching that feature out there south of Cadman near Beecher City, watching a storm as it gets ready to move into Effingham. Doesn't look like the strongest winds are going to move right through Effingham, so you might be dodging the worst of it, but right here, southeast Shelby County, right over the top of Sigel, that's where some pretty strong winds of maybe 60 to 65 miles an hour are starting to move straight through. That'll be a problem for southern Cumberland County as well. And up here near the Cumberland and Coles County line as well, just outside of Cottonwood, south of Lerna, just past through Trilla. Again, anytime you see that pink, those are some pretty strong winds, and those will make their impacts felt there over a relatively isolated area, but it is going to pack a punch, so make sure that you are inside, away from windows there. Treat it as if it is a tornado warned storm, because strong winds can cause some damage there as well, and you don't want to mess around with that. And again, that new severe thunderstorm warning just northwest of Casey, that one has just the broadest bit of rotation on it still. It's far away from any radar. We're switching between the Evansville radar, the radar in Lincoln as well. So we're going to try our best to get some sort of read on that and see what vantage point kind of helps us detect that storm a little bit. We're going to return things to our basic radar, our reflectivity, and just kind of reset some folks here who might just be starting to jump into the equation. Everything is down here closer to I-70. I'm going to quickly zoom out and then zoom back in, so that way folks in Champaign know that we've got, we're good for now. There's stuff down to the south. Danville, same thing. Decatur, same thing. Springfield, a lot of big populated areas that aren't seeing any action. But again, down there closer to the Effingham area, even across parts of Mattoon and Charleston, getting some storm activity. We want to make sure those folks down that direction are covered as well, because even though they're on the edges of our area, they need to know what is happening here with some of these storms as well. So not much happening north of I-70, but it's down there closer to the southern counties here in the area that need to continue to have these storms covered as they march on in. So we've got places like Toledo in severe thunderstorm warnings, Effingham within one, even out there in Casey as well. So kind of three main cores that we are paying attention to see how they will evolve here with time, and if there's any sort of tightening of rotation, if there's any sort of main core that starts to overtake some of the other ones around it, that'll be what kind of dictates what we see here moving forward. I'm going to look at the Effingham camera again here real quick, and we'll see as things start to move through. Again, you're going to kind of get a glancing blow in between storms here. There's not really a big punch coming your way. It's going to rain quite a bit. There's going to be quite a bit of lightning. But that main core is up there in Sigel right now, so you might miss the worst of it, but plenty of heavy rain is going to be on its way as well. So we're going to be watching out for that, and we will see how that impacts Effingham here as we move ahead in time. And we'll return back to our radar here, because I believe, unless it's been just a little while now, we might have an additional warning. There might be one overlapping there, so essentially covering the same areas. I believe this one, this new one that popped up, is an extension on the one that was down there in southern Coles County. So that kind of is just another storm that is going to kind of be a 1-2 punch for places there in across the Coles, Cumberland, and Clark Tri-County line. That first storm moving through, bringing its winds, bringing its heavy rain. There's another line of storms moving on through too, so that's why there's some concern about flash flooding, because if you get a 1-2 punch from storms that are producing this much rain, things are going to pile up very quickly with how intense the rain is starting to fall there as well. It's been a little bit since we've checked in with Jacob and Kevin, and again, we're getting to the very tail end here of our 5 o'clock of the 5 o'clock hour and our 5:30 newscast. At 6 o'clock, we'll probably let it go to 60 minutes as long as there's no tornado warnings in the area. But I want to make sure we get a check of Jacob and Kevin out there. Guys, remind everyone where you're at, and pretty dark and intimidating storm you've got there.
Yeah, no, it really is. We're still looking at this, and I got to tell you, there's still a little bit of rotation on this thing, and we are basically south of Beecher City near Moccasin, and boy, there is a lot of lightning. There's still some rotation. You're looking at that right into the storm. So, I mean, it's literally right beside us. If this thing would potentially drop something, I mean, it is right here. You can see the clouds that are, if you zoom in maybe just a little bit to the area there, you can see a little bit of motion there in one direction with some of the clouds there, and then another direction, and that's some of that rotation that we talk about. And we're looking right at it. So again, this storm here has always kind of had some of this broad rotation on it for a good period of time. Seems to be strengthening just a little bit here from our vantage point. Again, we are south of Beecher City near Moccasin. We are in the extreme northwest corner of Effingham County, and we're looking right at where that storm would potentially drop a tornado if that rotation would be a little bit stronger, but it is definitely present. This is definitely a low area here, and you can definitely see some of this motion that is getting kicked up. Some of that rising motion that you look at in that storm. So it is a very intense storm here, guys. I'm gonna tell you, we're watching this thing, and we've got our eyes on it, and if it would drop something, it is literally right off here to our right. You're looking at the view here that we're getting from the StormTracker, and boy, a lot of lightning with it here as well. So I know we're coming up to 6 o'clock here, and what we're going to do here is if we get any other reports or see anything, we'll let you know. But I mean, we're looking right at this storm right here. Again, extreme northwestern portions of Effingham County, kind of this back side. We're definitely getting some rotation still on this, and that classic rising motion within it. So we're watching it, guys. We're going to continue to, you can see, yeah, there you go. See right there. So we got a nice little shot of it right there. See that motion rising up into the storm there, and then the whole thing is kind of rotating around itself there. And so that's what we're watching here. That, you know, so yeah, you've got,
that's a funnel,
maybe a little funnel trying to form there as well. We'll continue to watch it here, but we might be trying to get a little funnel. Let's trying to go here, guys. It's, again, we're looking right into the storm. It's just off to our right, and maybe a little dissipating funnel there, but still, Seth, something to just keep an eye on here if you're in Effingham, because this is the back edge of this storm that eventually is going to come in. I know you're talking about a lot of people over there towards, you know, Toledo and Montrose, Green Up areas, KZ, but let's not discount this back edge here that's going to be coming into Effingham here in the next few minutes. So again, I know we're coming up to 6 o'clock, which we'll probably just go back to regular programming unless another tornado warning continues, but we're going to continue the streaming here with Seth here online as well. So we're going to continue to watch these storms and keep you up to date so the folks can stay safe down here, but giving you the best views that we can from the StormTracker meteorologist Jacob Dickey and Kevin Lighty in the StormTracker. For now, Seth, we will send it back to you.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Yeah, definitely keep us informed there and continue to keep eyes on everything. We're going to start to wrap up things here real quick because, of course, we've got 60 minutes coming up here. We want to just remind folks of what all is going on. Just a big complex of storms, lots of winds within them as well, several warnings out here. We're not going to leave you in the dark. We'll continue our digital coverage. You can, of course, find that on our Facebook, our Twitter, whether it be the actual news, WCIA 3 Facebook or Twitter, or just our individual meteorologist platforms, and, of course, online as well. We will continue to stream things and let you know kind of what is happening here with these storms. But we definitely want to begin to wrap things up here and send things back to normal CBS programming. We'll be back if there is any sort of tornado warnings. We will jump back on here and keep folks informed with second-by-second action. But until that happens, if it does at all, we're going to wrap up things here and stay on our digital platforms only. So thanks again for joining us. Hopefully you were able to stay informed here and stay ahead of the storms. Again, find us over on our digital platforms. Hopefully we don't have to interrupt again soon. It'd be good if I don't see you again until tonight at 10 o'clock, but we will be right here just in case things happen. So for meteorologist Jacob Dickey, for Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighty, I'm meteorologist Seth Bohnhoff. We will now return things back to CBS programming. All right, folks, we are back here in the studio here, WCIA 3. I'm meteorologist Seth Bohnhoff. Just wanted to cut in here very briefly. I know we've got some big-time national programming going on here with 60 Minutes, but I want to let folks know we do have a tornado warning. It is kind of on the edge of our area here, but I don't want to leave those folks out to dry. We've got to let them know about things that are going on. There is a tornado warning out there for the far northern part of Montgomery County. This is crossing I-55 right now, right across kind of between Pittman and Farmersville. You can see that strongest rotation just there in between the two towns right now. So we want to make sure the folks out the direction are aware of this. Get to your tornado safe spot right now and shelter down. Just kind of ride this one out. Very slow storm motion, 20 miles an hour. That is going to take its time to make its way through. This warning polygon is in effect here all the way until 7:15. So that's about 45 minutes from now. It is not traveling very fast. We just want to make sure the folks that are in the path of this thing are well aware of it. This eventually could be making its way towards the very far southwestern corner corner of Christian County as well. So we just want folks to stay on top of this and make sure that they are aware of what's happening here. We're going to make this cut in very brief. If you want to continue to see some of our coverage, we're going to keep it up on our digital platforms. As long as this kind of stays on the edge of the area, we at least want to let folks know about it. We're going to keep things primarily here on our digital coverage so that a majority of folks can continue on with their CBS programming. So again, that's our Facebook, that's our Twitter, and again, on our website, WCIA.com, you can find this stream here on the weather tab. If you go to the Severe Weather Center, we have you covered. Just want to let folks know out there across northern Montgomery County, eventually in the far southwest corner of Christian County, tornado warning in effect for the next 45 minutes. We've got the rotation on it. It is crossing I-55 right now, and we just want to make sure that folks are on top of things. So again, we'll be over on our digital channels here. We will send it back here to CBS programming, and we will update you if things start to kind of get closer here to the main portion of our area. But for now, we'll return things back to our normal programming here on CBS. All right, folks, we are breaking in for some more severe weather coverage here. We have a new tornado warning. This one is for Effingham County, the northwest side of Effingham County. We have a newly issued tornado warning here. Very slow moving storm. This one's moving just about 25 miles an hour, but this one is going to head on into close to the Effingham area. So folks in the path of this right now include down there in the southeastern part of Shelby County, Holland, Shumway. You need to get in your tornado safe spots here right now as that storm is soon to move on into the area. Let's toss up your velocity here and see where things are. You can see the couplet happening right here where these greens and these reds meet. That is heading right towards Shumway. If you are in Shumway, you only have a few minutes here to take shelter, get to the lowest part of your home, and hunker down here for a little bit. Longer than maybe you usually have to for storms. These are just such slow moving storms here. And again, this is approaching the Effingham area, so it's going to be a little while. It may take a whole 30 minutes for the storm to make it all the way down there closer to Effingham. But Effingham itself, potentially places out west, Funkhauser, they need to stay on top of things. Start to prepare in case this storm maintains its strength, gets there right there close to Effingham itself. And we'll continue to play things scan by scan here and let you know as soon as that thing gets closer what the threat is looking like. But at least for the moment, a tornado warning has been issued that is just on the outskirts of the city of Effingham itself. So we are going to see how that one is going to progress with time here. Just giving folks a little bit of a wide zoom to kind of pinpoint where things are. We're really across the southern part of the area, and I know this does not include a lot of major cities that catch our coverage here, like Springfield, Decatur, Champaign, even into parts of Danville there. But we have to stay on top of things here for those folks down in Effingham. We got plenty of viewers down that way, and we need to make sure that they are staying aware of everything that is going on here right now. Let's see, we have got Kevin and Jacob. They're out on the storm. Their coverage, or excuse me, their camera feed is just a little glitchy here right now. I'm going to give it a couple seconds to see if it clears up. They are close by. They have been tracking the storm here for quite some time now. If they can get into just a little bit better of a service area here, hopefully their shot clears up and we can hear from them because they are right there on this storm. And what I'll do here real quick, it looks like we've got you guys for at least a couple of seconds here. Jacob and Kevin, that is an impressive looking storm. Tell us what's going on.
Okay, Seth, we are on the newly warned storm here, tornado warned storm. We're looking at the view of this right now. We're getting it to come up here, so you're looking at this. We are literally located right in the middle, 2 miles north of Shumway Airport is where we're located. The storm, you're looking at it right here on your screen, just to our right, as this storm is moving to the south and east towards Shumway. If you're in Shumway, you need to be taking shelter. This is the view that we're getting here. This storm ramping up, and we've been watching it over the past 10-15 minutes or so, and so here it is right in front of us. We're getting as there's maybe a little funnel that's trying to form over here.
Middle right of the screen.
Middle right of the screen. So stand by here, folks. We are trying to dive south here to kind of stay ahead of this, but it is going to be coming up here on the right side of your screen here in just a moment. Tornado warning. If you're in Shumway, take shelter right now. This is right over here. Okay, you're looking at the storm. We're just kind of scanning the skies to see what we can see here, the view that we have.
Yeah, kind of looking at radar. I think it's going to be right here.
Yeah, so it should be right up here and in front of us here. We're watching it. If it's going to do something, again, we're right on where this rotating part of the storm is. If you're in Shumway, take shelter right now. We're keeping an eye on our storm here, looking for that funnel that could drop at any moment. This is the storm that is heading into northern and western portions of Effingham County. We are crossing 2000th Avenue and 700th Street. So if you're familiar, 700th and 2000th Avenue is where we are, literally just across and probably about a mile or so from Shumway Airport.
And you know, Kevin, kind of looking at radar as well. I think what we're seeing here is also the surge of wind on the south side of this. I think also we kind of got the back behind camera. I'm going to do a quick 180 and just get a peek of that here while we reposition, Kevin.
Okay, just repositioning here real quick to kind of get another view of the storm to see what we can see here. Again, we are just to the west and northwest of Shumway right now, getting that view, now looking into that storm here. So there's our view of the storm. Tornado warning, Shumway, lots of lightning. We're about to get hit pretty good by probably the heavy rainfall here before too long. Just an incredible amount of lightning with this storm. The uptick in that has been definitely kind of showing up, and whenever you see that increase in the lightning, that is an indication of a very strong storm here. And so that's the view that we are getting right now with the tornado warning here. I'm going to let Jacob here readjust there. Seth, I'm going to let you kind of track that, and we'll come back to you here in just a little bit as we continue to reposition to try to keep ahead of this thing. But we're just about a mile north of Shumway right now. Take shelter if you're in that area. We're watching the storm carefully. It's a wicked, wicked storm, guys. Seth, we'll send it back to you for right now.
Okay, appreciate it. Jacob and Kevin, of course, just shout in my ear or maybe a wave on the camera there, and I will make sure to get things back out to you whenever you get yourself repositioned. So we're going to come back out here to us, and we have got, again, plenty of action here just outside of Effingham County. Want to turn on velocity product here real quick just to kind of show. Again, we're going to have to really see how this thing evolves here with time. It looks like it might just be starting to shift just a little bit to the left. That might give it a better opportunity to actually get there in to the city of Effingham itself. We really have to play this scan by scan there because the main trajectory of it looked like maybe it was going to just go west of town here initially. Maybe things are straightening out a little bit and it will be on its way closer to the Effingham area. But right now, the priority is the folks in Shumway and anywhere in between there in Effingham. You need to be in your tornado safe spot right now. You need to make sure that you are kind of hunkering down there for as long as this warning is overhead. We are going to continue to follow this storm here as it is soon to enter into a pretty populated area. So of course we want to make sure that we are on top of things here with that. What I'm going to do here real quick, I'm going to put on I'm going to freeze our velocity here. I'm going to put on a tool that tracks out the path of the storm. It's going to kind of spread out a little bit as I drag it even further to kind of allow for some for a little bit of wiggle room either left or right. So around 7:30 p.m. that's when it could start to be there in the Effingham area. So within the next 25 minutes you need to start making your preparations right now to get into your tornado safe spot there and make sure that you're protected. Of course, all the other places there on that list, Funkhauser at around 7:25, even out there right now in the Shumway area, you need to be in your tornado safe spot. All right, we have got Kevin and Jacob back again. Guys, what you seeing out there again?
Okay, so we just wanted to give you this real quick view looking into the storm here. This is it right here. This is where the rotation is. I'm on the storm. You can see there's a little bit of a lowering. We're so close to this thing. I mean, we're right on this. And so again, this is just coming into Shumway right now. We are on the west side of Shumway. Rotation being seen. You can see the lightning strikes there that are coming down. Right in front of us is where this little lowering is, where there would potentially be a tornado. Okay, guys? And so we are just on the west side of Shumway, and this is continuing to dive south and east. It's going to come eventually, potentially, into the Effingham area here, guys. So again, you're looking at the storm. There it is. That little lowering that's in the kind of middle part of your screen is what we've been watching here this whole time. We're kind of getting what's called the RFD, the rear flank downdraft, which is kind of wrapping into the storm here. And so we wanted to give you that view real quick before we had to readjust. And that's what we're going to do now and head back here to the east to try to stay ahead of this. So for now, we'll send it back to you in the studio, Seth, as we reposition Shumway. take shelter right now. Shumway, if you are there, be in your tornado safe spot in Shumway as this is coming in. And even down the line, Effingham, just be paying attention as this storm is coming there towards the northwest side of town. This thing's coming right in, guys. So stay with us. We'll continue to keep you up to date. Seth in the studio, meteorologist Jacob Dickey, Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighty here in the StormTracker. As we reposition, we'll send it back to you in the studio so you can track that storm for the folks there. But Shumway to Effingham, shelter right now.
All right, thank you very much, Kevin. Thank you very much, Jacob. Of course, yeah, make sure that you guys are staying a safe distance from that. We love the views, of course, but need to be able to stay a good safe distance from it. Here's the view from our Effingham Skycam from the St. Anthony Hospital. This is an impressive storm from a distance. You look outside, you see this, you need to start thinking about getting inside here right now because this storm is about 20-25 minutes away. It might take a little while for it to get there, but that's plenty of time for you to get down there into your shelter here right now. We're giving you plenty of warning time as this storm is about to move on in. We've got the best look at the actual core where the rotation is there with Jacob and Kevin, but just looking at this storm as a whole, the whole thing's impressive. Plenty of rain, plenty of lightning there in it, and some strong winds possible within it as well. Let's take us back out to our radar picture. And again, give some folks just a little bit of a reset. There's a lot of you that aren't being impacted right now. Anyone along I-72 and to the north, there's nothing happening up your direction. We are focused closer to the I-70 region. That is where we have that main storm right now. So if you're up there to the north, things are in good shape for right now. Doesn't mean that things are going to be in great shape the entire time, but that is why we are kind of focusing our coverage down here to the south, because that is where things are actively happening right now. There is the southeastern side of that storm as it is tracking down, getting ready to head right there into the Effingham area within the next 20 minutes or so. So again, plenty of time to get to your safe spot there, but don't take your sweet time. Get there as soon as you can and make sure that you are prepared as this storm moves on in. Don't want to discount any of the other storms here in the area. Just behind this tornado warning, you look into the Cowden and Herrick area. Look at that. There's some rotation. There's some obvious strong winds and some of those kind of that couplet there right over Herrick as well. So we are continuing to watch several different storms here as they are heading down to the south closer to the I-70 region. So even though there's no tornado warnings on those, these are strong storms. You need to be inside the Cowden, Herrick area, Beecher City. Just stay inside and just kind of ride this one out. Very slow storm motion. You might have to be bunkered down there for a little extra longer than you normally are, but this is to just keep you away from anything that might be flying around out there, tree branches, anything. You want to be in the interior part of your house and as low as you can possibly go. So we are going to continue to track how that's going, and we are going to keep you up to date as far as how that is happening there as well. So we will continue to watch how these storms evolve here with time, but it's just these two main storms here at the moment, or these two main areas within this main storm that we are paying lots of attention to, as there is plenty of activity picking up here. We're going to come back to our Effingham Skycam and see what's happening out that direction. Again, you can just see the leading edge of that storm really starting to just make itself be seen. It was a little hard to see the striations there for a little bit, but you can tell this storm is impressive, and it is going to, at the very least, bring some heavy rain and some strong winds with it as well. Here we've got, looking at our view here at the Skycam, we've got Jacob and Kevin's view there and the StormTracker as well. There's plenty of action happening here all across the area. Kevin, Jacob, you guys have an update out there?
Yep, so we're looking back into the storm now. Got up ahead of it there. A couple miles there in front of Shumway now, but you're looking right into the storm. Maybe some broader rotation than what we had a little bit earlier, but still some of it showing up there. It's passing over Shumway right now. Again, we are now south and east of Shumway, but you're looking right into the storm. Whereas you can notice some of the motion within there. And that, you know, those lowerings every once in a while. I'm not seeing anything immediately close to the ground, but you can definitely see you know, the fast movement of our clouds here. And, you know, yes, this is exactly where some of that rotation would potentially be. And so we're going to give you another little kind of a view here. You know, every once in a while, you know, you catch one of these little fingers that kind of like come down here, and we look at what we call scud. But there is some of this rotation, you know, trying to show up within here. Definitely, you're getting the strong RFD, the rear flank downdraft of the storm. We're also, that kind of feeds and kind of wraps around into the back side of it. And so that's what we've got. Broad rotation, I'll tell you this, man, near Shumway, the lightning is constant there, and that stretches all the way back there between Stewartson and Cowden to Beecher City. That's what we're looking at here. So we're giving you the view from the StormTracker of this tornado warned cell. We'll see what the Weather Service does, if they carry this any further or not. We don't see anything immediate here from our vantage point, other than what we've kind of been watching here a little bit. Definitely looked a little bit stronger about 15 minutes ago when they did first issue that warning. That's kind of been the good news here with these so far. It's been a lot of close calls, a lot of strong rotation on them, an occasional little lowering that comes down, maybe a funnel or two. But as of this point, nothing fully condensing all the way down to the surface. But we're going to have to continue to kind of attempt to stay ahead of this thing here. We're watching that storm, the additional storms there, as Seth was mentioning, back towards Herrick, showing some of those rotating signs. And so there's the view that we're getting. And I got to tell you, boy, the lightning, man, it is wicked out. I have not seen a cloud-to-ground lightning show like this in a while, and a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning strikes showing up here with this. So again, we are just north and west of Effingham now, south and east of Shumway, as the storms continue to move across. Still just looking at, analyzing the storms the best we can to see what we can see within these. The nice thing is they are moving at a fairly slow speed, and so we're able to kind of try to keep ahead of it the best we can. But if you're in this area between Shumway and Effingham, just be taking shelter, because these things have been pulsing up and down a little bit. There's still some decent winds there between Shumway and basically where we were earlier, near Moccasin and Beecher City. So definitely be on the lookout there, guys. So Seth, for now, we will send things back over to you there in the studio as you track this thing now just nudging its way into the northwest side of Effingham, which is exactly what we're going to be doing here as well. But boy, that lightning is just constant here as we look into this. So hopefully people can take shelter here from this, and definitely get inside. More than, even if there's not a tornado, boy, you don't want to be out in this lightning storm. It is quite intense here. But we're looking into the storm right now, and going to have to just get ahead of it, because the rain is about to pick up quite a bit in the next minute or so. So for now, we will send it back to you in the studio as we are in the tornado warned cell here into Effingham County. Back to you for now.
Okay, thank you very much, Kevin, and thank you very much, Jacob, for keeping eyes on the ground there. We are completely able to tell here on radar that this rotation has weakened quite a bit. Of course, the eyes on the ground are the best way to see it, but you can see things matching up here a little bit. Not quite as tight as it once was. You still have those greens and those reds together, but it's not the same bright colors that they were at one point in time. And it actually looks like the tornado warning has been canceled just a little bit early here. That was supposed to expire at 7:30, and it looks like things have been allowed to be let go of here early. I'm just going to continue to scan things here from the National Weather Service. They said they are pulling the plug on the tornado warning. The threat has diminished enough to let it go. So with that being said, there are no active tornado warnings in the area, and there's just barely a sliver of a severe thunderstorm warning here active in the area. So with that being the case, we're going to wrap up things here on CBS once again. In the event that we have another tornado warning pop up here within the area, we're going to hop back on and cover it here for you. But as long as that we are tornado warning free and the threat has diminished, we're going to wrap up things here. We'll still be on our digital platforms. Be sure if you're in the Effingham area to join us there. We'll still have Jacob, we'll still have Kevin able to take the view here for us and see things on the ground, and we'll continue to provide coverage for you there. But that's all we've got for you right now here on CBS. We will now return you back to your normal programming.